Good morning, students. Am I audible to you? Please tell me so we can start your session. Am I audible to you? Okay. So very good morning to all of you once again. We are going to start your session now for the BEEE subject, and we will discuss about unit number 1, that is DC circuit. That is your first unit. So in the last session we discussed about certain analysis methods like mesh analysis and nodal analysis method. Am I right? After KCL and KVL, we discuss about the mesh analysis. This example we discussed in the laboratory session also. The second example, this is the example we discussed in the last session. Also we discussed about the mesh analysis, right? So this analysis method we discussed in the last session. So basically the mesh analysis we applied to identify the current value, that is also we call the loop analysis method or mesh current method. So after finding out the mesh current using the KVL, the voltage in anywhere in the given circuit can be determined by the Ohm's law. So we'll discuss this example using this steps procedure. So this example we discuss, yes or no? Does we explain or we discuss this example in the last session? Can you please tell me? Okay. So in this example, we apply the two mesh, right? There are two loop. We label the current value in each mesh, I1, I2, and according to that, the third current is I1 plus I2. So this is the equation we use to identify the current I1 and I2 from the given circuit. Yes or no? So this is the example we discussed in the last session. Now, if we discuss about the procedure steps for the nodal analysis method, then it is, you can say that any circuit, electrical circuit, when you apply the mesh analysis or node analysis, that is, you can say that the analysis method, when you apply in any electrical circuit, the final answer, whatever you calculate, that will be remain same. So it is just a method or the tools we used. So first steps procedure, that we identify the principal node and we have to select one of them. It is a reference node. That reference node we can consider as a ground node of the circuit. The second, we have to label all the node voltage with respect to ground from all the principal node except the reference node, because reference node or the ground node, whenever you see, it is having the value of 0 voltage. So the second step, that we are going to label the node voltages. Then after, we have to write the nodal equation at all the principal node except the reference node. So we identify using the KCL. After applying the KCL, and then we are using the Ohm's law. I will show you with the example also, so that will better understand for you. And the fourth step, solve the nodal equation, whatever we obtain in the step number 3, to get the node voltages. So it is, you can say that the nodal analysis method steps procedure given here. For any circuit, you will identify first of all how many nodes are given out of that principal node, and one of the reference node you are going to select. That reference node you can consider as a ground node. Just a minute. So in the nodal analysis procedure steps, the second, it is indicating that we have to label the node voltages except the reference node. We have to write down the nodal equation at all the principal node except the reference node, and that nodal equation it is obtained by using of KCL, and then after we apply the Ohm's law. So then after we are going to solve that equation we obtain in the third steps procedure, and we will identify the node voltages. Now the same example what we solve by the mesh analysis method, if we apply the nodal analysis method here, then what the steps procedure we will apply, that is important thing. So this is the circuit in which how many node you have, can you tell me how many node it is represented? How many nodes are given in this diagram? Okay, I'm getting the answer from the participants. See, there are four nodes given here in this diagram. The node number one here, it is also labeled with the VA. Then the second node, it is at the B, or you can say it is a VB. And the third one, it is VC. And the fourth one, it is you have a reference node here. So we identify the four node in this diagram. Out of four, one node, that is D point, it is selected as a reference node, because you can see that the negative polarity of battery source, they are connected together, and according to the current direction we can select that D node as a reference node. Now just a second. So at each node point, write down the KCL. That means the Kirchhoff first law, it is KCL. So the statement given here, that the current entering a node are exactly equal to the current leaving the node. That is the statement of KCL. So each current we are going to express in terms of the voltage across the branch. Suppose you have n number of the node, then one node we can use as a reference node, and other node their voltages will be referenced or measured with respect to the common node. So that sentence actually given over here in this way. Just a second. See, when you identify the potential here, that voltage you have to consider with respect to the reference node D. Same way, when you identify VB, so that voltage you can take with the reference of, again, reference node or the common node D point. Similarly, the voltage at the C point or VC, that also you can consider with respect to the common node which is given here as a D point. Now, in this circuit, the node D, it is selected as a reference node, and other three nodes are assumed to have the voltages VA, VB, and VC with respect to D point in the circuit. So for example, if you apply the KCL here, suppose if you apply the KCL, just a second. Sorry. So when you apply the KCL at the D point or B point in the circuit, what you can write the KCL equation? Can you identify and tell me? You can see the current direction also given here. What you can write here? If you apply the KCL at the B point, you can see the current direction I1 and I2. Can we say that the current which is towards the node and I3 will be away from the node? So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to apply the KCL at node number B. So at this node, when we apply the KCL, can we write like this? I1 plus I2 is equal to I3. Yes. Now, if you identify the current here, according to the Ohm's law, so what we can write for the current I1 component? For the current I1, if you apply the Ohm's law, can we write V by R? Yes or no? According to the Ohm's law, we can write V by R. But right now, you can see this potential here, it is VA and VB. So can we write like this? VA minus VB, the potential difference between the terminal of the branch, divided by the resistance of that branch, it is given 10 ohm. So in this way, we can write the equation for the I1. Can we write the I2 equation similarly? That I2, it is equal to, you can see the current direction. It is from VC to VB. So what you can write here, it is VC minus VB divided by 20. Right? And if you write for the third current component I3, what you can write? See, the reason why we write VA minus VB, because this branch, if you can see that the terminal voltage, it is given here of VA and VB as we labeled here. So we just write over here the potential difference between these two terminal divided by the resistance. We just apply the Ohm's law here. So when you write for I3, what is I3 component now? It is VB, and what is the reference voltage? It is equal to 0. So VB minus 0 divided by 40. So when we put this I1, I2 and I3 in this equation, you will get this equation, VA minus VB divided by 10. Always reference you should consider with the 0. The reference node always consider with respect to 0. Always consider the reference node or the ground node with the 0 volt. Now, after putting this value of VA minus VB by 10 for I1 plus VC minus VB by 20, that is for I2 current, is equal to for I3 current, it is written VB minus 0 by 40, or you can directly write VB by 40. Now, according to this connection given here, this VA potential, if you see here, this VA potential, it is connected with the positive terminal of 10 volt of the battery source here. Same thing over here, plus minus the positive and negative polarity. So we can write indirectly that VA is equal to 10 volt, because if you see that subjected to that VA node, the source is directly connected of 10 volt. So we can write VA is equal to 10 volt and VC is equal to 20 volt. So this is, you can say that it is written here from this VA, because it is connected here of 10 volt supply, and we can directly write VA is equal to 10 volt and VC is equal to 20 volt, because nothing is connected according to the circuit diagram between the source terminal and that node terminal. So now if you put 10 volt and 20 volt of VA and VC into your previous equation, can we identify the VB? So now, just a second. So after putting the value of VA and VA and VC, if we rearrange this equation, we can get the value of VB. So VB is equal to 80 by 7 volt, and from that the current I3 can be obtained by using Ohm's law, because I3 is equal to what? VB by 40. So when you put this equation or values into the I3 equation, you will get the value of current of I3, that is of 2 by 7 or 0.286 ampere. Are you getting up to here? Are you getting up to here? Say yes or no. Where you didn't understand, Basira? See, the formula we are using here based on the current equation what we written here of KCL. First of all, at this node, when you apply the KCL, then you can get the I1 plus I2 is equal to I3, right? Then after all the current value, you will write in terms of Ohm's law. But if you see one particular branch having two terminal or two node, so over here you can see that 10 ohm resistance, it is connected with the VA and VB. 20 ohm resistance, it is connected with the VB and VC. Now When you select VA is equal to 10 volt and VC is equal to 20 volt, you just apply this value over here in this equation. You just put the value of VA and VC in this equation and you will identify the VB. So that calculation given here, that after putting that VA and VC value into our previous equation, we will get the VB value, that is of 80 by 7 volt. And from that you can identify the current value of I3. Now, can you identify the I1 and I2 separately? So what is I1 equation? What is I1? Can we say I1 is equal to, according to the equation, it is VA minus VB. VA minus VB divided by 10. So what is VA? It is 10 volt. What is VB? It is 80 by 7 divided by 10. So can you identify what is the value of I1 here? After putting VA and VB, can you identify the I1 current here? It is 10 minus 80 by 7 divided by 10. So can you identify the I1 current here? Yes, I'm getting the answer. That is equal to minus 1 by 7. You can just cross check all others. Yes, so it is minus 1 by 7. So I1 that we are getting here, it is equal to minus 1 by 7. So can you identify the I2 now? Can you identify the I2 component? See, you have a two equation, I1 plus I2 is equal to I3, and the second equation that you can use, I2 is equal to VC minus VB divided by 20. So by any method or equation, you can identify the current I2 component. So calculate and tell me what is I2. What is the value of I2? Can you calculate and tell me what is I2? Okay, Alfred said 3 by 7, Basera said 6 by 7. Okay, I will show you the answer here. Okay, see, you will have Vc minus Vb by 20. So you can write here 20 minus 80 by 7 divided by 20. So if you're getting this answer, it is 140 divided by 60 61. So it is, so the correct answer it is 3 by 7, right? The correct answer is 3 by 7. So that you can also verify with our mesh analysis method. The answer will remain same. That is actually indicating whatever the method you are using, right? Either you apply the mesh analysis method for the given circuit or nodal analysis method for that same circuit, the final answer will remain same, right? Now, this is one another example we have for the mesh current or the loop analysis to identify the current in each resistance. So it is a similar kind of the example what we had discussed till now. There are two voltage source given and we have to apply the mesh analysis or the loop analysis method. So step number one, first of all, identify the loops. So this is a step number one. We identify there are two loops given or we identify here in this example question. So the I1, if you see, it is rotating in the clockwise direction and I2 that is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction or counterclockwise direction. See the direction you can select, but at the end, whatever the final answer you are getting, that you have to write with the correct diagram or sorry, correct direction. So now if we go ahead, this is first step procedure that we have to identify the loops here. Second step, we have to label the voltage drop polarity. So this thing we already discussed in your previous example also, that whatever the elements are given, we have to assign the polarities. So you can see across the battery, across the resistance, we assign the polarities. Then we apply the loop method or the current analysis method here. So for the first loop, if you follow the direction, it is clockwise direction, or if you follow the direction in the reverse case, then it is written 28 minus 4i1 minus 2i1 plus i2. But whatever the method you are using, if you write in the clockwise direction, then it is minus 28 plus 4i1 plus 2i1 plus i2, that is equal to 0. So same equation you are getting the final answer, that is equation number 1 for the loop 1. Now if you apply the loop method 2, that is 2i1 plus i2 minus 7 plus 1i2 is equal to 0. So if we rearrange that equation, we will identify the second equation here from the second loop. So one thing that you have to remember, that whatever the mesh analysis we are using, how many equations are to be there, it is depends upon that how many loops you have assigned in the example. So based on the loop, you will identify the equation. Right now in this example, only two loops are given. So we can identify two equation number one and equation number two here. Now if we simplify this equation by multiplying equation number one with the 3 and equation number 2 by 2. So after multiplication, these are the equation we will get, because ultimately we have to subtract that both the equation after multiplying the equation number 1 with the 3 and 2 with the 2. So if we identify the parameters 6i2 minus 6i2, that will be cancelled out after subtracting. See, this is the polarity given here that we identify based on the loop given in the circuit diagram, right? So that sign is given based on the loop which is assigned here. So with the battery source, it is positive negative is already mentioned, but for the resistance it will see that the equation or the loop is in the clockwise direction, the plus sign will be there. For the 4 ohm resistance, for the 2 ohm resistance, again the plus polarity will be assigned for the voltage drop. And for the loop 2, again the polarity will identify, because that loop 2 will be rotating in the anti-clockwise direction or the counterclockwise direction, right? So now if we simplify this equation here, see why we are multiplying this 3 and 2 with the equation number 1 and 2, because we have to simplify this equation and we have to identify the current I1 and I2. So that's why for the simplification, it is like what component you will add. So I1 or I2 can be cancelled out from this equation, and according to that we will multiply with the equation. So now if you're subtracting the equation number 1 and equation number 2, can we say that the 6i2 will be cancelled out here? If you're subtracting this component, now 18i1 minus 4i1, so it is 14i1 is equal to 84 minus 14, so it is 70. So I1 is equal to 5 ampere. Yes. So 18i1 minus 4i1, that is 14i1, is equal to 84 minus 14. So it is 17. Sorry, 70. So I1, that will be 5 ampere. Now you have a two equation. So you can put any one equation with the current I1 is equal to 5 ampere, and you can get the current I2. So you have a previous equation, and from that, suppose we'll put the value of current I1 into the equation number 1. You can also select the equation number 2, that is not a problem. So in any equation 1 or 2 in which you can put the value of current I1. So after putting the current I1, so it is 6i1 plus 2i2 is equal to 28. And in that equation, if you put I1 is equal to 5 ampere, so can you tell me that what is the I2 current now? So it is 30 plus 2i2 is equal to 28. So when you simplify this equation, it is 2i2 is equal to minus 2 and I2 is equal to minus 1 ampere. Are you getting up to here? Yes, when we consider that the current direction that we have to identify, let me finish this example. As we identify, the current I2 will be with the minus sign. So we have to redraw the circuit as we identify the I2 with the minus 1 ampere as per the direction we have selected. But if we redraw the circuit, then you can see here we have to change the direction of the current I2. Then it is, you can say that 1 ampere into that branch of 1 ohm. Yes, then it will be in the clockwise direction. Yes. So this is about the mesh analysis or the loop analysis method. So current of 4 ampere through the resistance R2 of 2 ohm. So that is the our final answer. If you don't write this, then it is also okay. You can draw up to the last diagram which is seen here. So can we go ahead now? So the nodal voltage analysis we are going to apply here for this circuit diagram. So this is your question, that we have to apply the nodal voltage analysis and we have to identify the node voltage from this circuit diagram. Can you tell me that how many nodes you have in this circuit diagram? Can you identify that how many nodes you have in this circuit diagram? Not 8. See, this is our first node at which the branch is connected. This is a second node, V2, where the 4 branches are connected. And the third one, that is the reference node. That is given here. This is our reference node. So now we are going to apply the nodal analysis method in this diagram or in this example. And at the end, we will identify V1 and V2 voltages. Okay. So just a second. So in this above circuit, you can say that there are 3 nodes given. One, you can have the reference node, and other two that are the non-reference node. That is, you can say that node number 1 and node number 2, at which V1 and V2 is already mentioned. If it is not mentioned, you can write by yourself. Then after, step number 1, assign the node voltages as V1 and V2, and also mark the direction of the branch current with respect to the reference node. So in the step number 1, we have to assign the voltage, node voltage V1 and V2 as it is mentioned here. Also, we mark the current direction with reference to the reference node or with respect to reference node. Now, step number 2, we can apply the KCL at node number 1 and node number 2. So when we apply the KCL at node number 1, you can see here that the current I1 which is injecting towards the node, and I2 and I3, that current direction, it is away from the node. So you can write I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. This is what we apply the KCL at the node number 1. Now, if we apply the KCL at node number 2, can you tell me that what equation we can identify? At node number 2, if we apply the KCL, what will be the equation of current? Can you tell me? Yes, you can write in the chat box section. I3 is here. If we apply the KCL on this second node, what will be the current equation? Can you identify and tell me? Identify that the current direction towards the node and the current direction away from the node. So, according to the statement, sum of the current entering to the node is equal to the sum of current leaving the node. It is very easy question I ask. I2 and I4 they are entering towards the node, and I5 and I1 that are leaving from the node. So this is the equation we are getting at the node number 2. The two current are the current direction it is towards the node, and the remaining two current direction which is leaving from the node. So these are the two current direction, or sorry, there are two node we identify, and from that we identify the KCL or the current equation. Now, individual equation we are going to write with the Ohm's law. So voltage divided by resistance we can write here. So for the first equation, or step number 3, it is apply the Ohm's law to this KCL equation. So I1 at the node number 1, I1 is equal to, can we say it is 5 ampere? Because in that branch the current source is already given. So we know about the I1 current value, and that is of 5 ampere. So can we write like a 5 ampere is equal to V1 minus V2 by 4 plus V1 minus 0 by 2. So if we apply the Ohm's law here in the first equation, that I1 is equal to 5 ampere because it is already given the current source value of 5 ampere. It is equal to, the current I2 is equal to what? The potential difference between the terminal V1 minus V2 divided by 4. That is the resistance value. Plus V1 minus 0 because it is connected with the reference node, and the reference node voltage is equal to 0. So V1 minus 0 divided by 2. So if you simplify this equation, can you write the equation in terms of V1 and V2? So this is after rearrange that equation, 3V1 minus V2 is equal to 20. Now, for the node number 2, if we apply the Ohm's law, we know about the I4 and I1 current. It is 10 and 5 respectively. So other current direction you can identify like I2 is equal to V1 minus V2 by 4, and for I5 current it is V2 minus 0 by 6. So if we rearrange this equation, we will get this value. So now you will have two equation here. You can directly add this equation. So you can see here that 3V1 minus 3V1, it will be cancelled out. If you see the equation number 3 and 4, when you add this equation, right, can you say 3V1 minus 3V1 will be cancelled out? So if you write for the V2, what you can write? Minus V2 plus 5V2 is equal to 80. So what is the value of V2 now? What is the value of V2 from this equation, or from these two equation? Can you tell me? Okay, I'm getting the answer. Okay, someone say 20, someone say 12. So it is 80 divided by 4. So it is 20 volt for the V2. So after simplify this equation, the V2 value will be 20 volt. And if you put this V2 value in one of the equation, can you identify the V1? Your V2 value will be 20. So if you put in any one of the equation, then what will be the V1 value now? So can you tell me? So it is 40 by 3 V1. After putting V2 in one of the equation, can you identify the V1 is equal to 40 by 3? Yes or no? So this is your question, that we have to identify the node voltage here. So V1 and V2 both we identify. Are you understand up to here? Now, this is a very easy question given here. First of all, identify the total node given here in this diagram. Total node will be how much? Yes, there are three nodes given. The first node, that is here, second node, that is here, and one of the node that you can take as a reference node. So step number one, first of all, identify all the essential node and choose one of the node as a reference node. So after selecting the node, we also assign the voltage value, and as it is mentioned here, that is V1 and V2 we assign here. Now, according to this, when we apply the KCL, just like our previous analysis, what we have done, what is our next step? We apply the KCL here for each node, and then after we apply the Ohm's law. Are you getting? It is not like that you have a number of the resistance given in the circuit. It will identify the node. Sometimes you observe that the resistance are connected in series or parallel also. So just identify that how many connections you have at particular node. So right now it is labeled here, that is V1 and V2, and one of the node you can take as a reference node. So our next step, that we apply the KCL at each node except the reference node. And in this step, for each node we assume that the branch current is leaving from the node, and then we describe the branch current in terms of node voltage. See, this step procedure is not required or mandatory for all, or for all situation. You can decide the current direction by your own. So if we apply the KCL at node number 1, so at node number 1, how many branches are connected? Can you identify and tell me? At node number 1, how many branches are connected? It is 3. 1 ampere current source, 12 ohm resistance and 6 ohm resistance. So that branches are connected at V1. Similarly at V2 there are 3 branches connected. So if we apply the KCL at node number 1, according to the current direction, it is in this example it is mentioned previously in the previous presentation that all the current entering the node we assume as with a minus sign, but you can select according to your knowledge. It is not mandatory, but right now as it is given here, that is of minus 1 ampere, and the V1 minus 0, that means the voltage V1 with reference to reference node, it is V1 minus 0 by 12 ohm and V1 minus V2 by 6 ohm. So if you simplify this equation, we will get 3V1 minus 2V2 is equal to 12. So this is our first equation we obtain from the our node number 1. Now, if we apply the KCL at node number 2, it is written here that V1 minus V2, or as per the current direction we have assumed that V2 minus V1 by 6, V2 minus 0 by 6 plus 4 ampere, because the current direction it is leaving from the node. See, that is not compulsory. I already told you that you can take the negative sign. You can select by your own, just like the example we discussed in the previous part, that you can select like the current entering to the node positive and the current leaving to the node that is negative. So that you can select by your own. It is not mandatory all the time. So now we had two equation. In these two equation, we identify the V1 and V2 component, and that is given here of minus 6 volt and minus 15 volt, because of the current direction we have reversed, or we selected reverse. Because of that, V1 and V2, it is identified, it is with the minus sign. If you select according to our discussion with the previous example, you will get the voltage value accordingly. Okay. Are you understand up to here? Are you understand up to here? So now you can put your NOMA number into the chat box section. Now you can write down your enrollment number into the chat box section. All of you write down your enrollment number into the chat box section quickly. If you have written your enrollment number in the chat box section, you can leave the session now. I again repeat that if you have written your enrollment number, you can leave the session now. So shall we end the meeting here for all if you have entered your enrollment number?